speech. I'm delighted we can discuss this particular issue in more detail with Brian Hook, who is the US Special Advisor to Iran. I think that's the right title for you. It is clear that the Trump administration views, in particular its European allies, persistence with the Iran nuclear deal with frustration. What has been the message here for your European allies today on the Iran nuclear deal?
When the United States got out of the Iran nuclear deal, we discovered that there was a lot of leverage that was suspended while you're in the deal. For the United States, we had to suspend our oil and banking sanctions. 80% of Iran's revenue comes from the export of oil. So if you wanted to deny this regime the revenue it needs to conduct its foreign policy, then you have to go after the oil. And so we have been very successful in dramatically cutting Iran's oil exports, but that's because we're outside of the deal. We have all seen during the life of the Iran nuclear deal an expansion of threats to peace and security that Iran presents. It's not just the nuclear program. It's not enough for international peace and security for Iran to just be in compliance with the deal. The deal has very modest and temporary benefits. And Iran has leveraged that deal to then expand its operations on missile testing, missile proliferation, terrorism, terror finance, cyber attacks, maritime aggression, human rights abuses. It's a long list. So this was the message where we're trying to elevate Iran is the most significant threat to a future of peace and security in the Middle East.
What about the effect of the sanctions? There have been many sanction regimes. There were sanction regimes on Saddam Hussein and elsewhere. I thought the general consensus historically was that they don't necessarily work, and very often, as you might be able to argue in the case of Iran, they actually hurt the wrong people. They further alienate the Iranian people, who I suspect you're trying to influence.
Everything that we have seen in our engagements with the Iranians and Iranian diaspora around the world and the various polling that we see, the Iranian people blame their economic troubles squarely on President Rouhani and on the supreme leader. They have 40 years of experience dealing with this kleptocracy, and they don't confuse cause and effect. They know that the primary driver of this is the Iranian regime. We have made an exception in our sanctions regime to provide for food and medicine and medical devices and agricultural products for the Iranian people. So we've made that very clear, both in rhetoric and in deed, that we're supporting the Iranian people. Our sanctions are targeted at this regime.